Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen, live on Neeves Knives. Listen to that black. That thing is loud, man. The 8010 light with original goat titanium scales. What an absolute beast. Made in Taiwan with USA made scales. This thing is a monster, man. That weight and just, you know, the overall solid feeling this thing has. Such a good knife, man. Such a good knife. This is definitely a knife like that. I truly feel like I could just beat the living. I know I can, but I just mean like I would, you know, I would. Treat just like a fixed blade. I have OG scales on my AD20. I got the original goat scales on my AD20 too, which is badass. I personally like them better than the stock ones. The ones that come stock on the titanium Demcos. The OG ones are just way better in my opinion. And also obviously you have the choice of different designs, because original goat, I don't know how many they have. I should count one day, but they have like 10 different design styles you can choose from, which is awesome. What's up, Jim? In the shop, sharpening and watching Neeves. What could be better? Hell yeah. Yeah, I got a lot of really cool videos coming up. The problem is that they do take a lot more time. So you guys are probably going to see a little bit less content until I can like really catch up. You notice I've only been able to post one video a day. That's because I've been doing a lot of working on other videos that just take a lot more effort, a lot more time, but they're really good videos. And, you know, I think that, I think the community will appreciate them. And I think the algorithm and just everything overall, it'll benefit over time. So I told you guys at the end of the year that this was something I wanted to do this year. So we're going to start doing it. And I'm trying not to get too stressed out about not posting enough content, even though that is a factor. And I do have to be careful with not doing that. I'm still posting enough, but it's just, you know, it's a little stressful sometimes, you know, when you're not, you know, putting up what you used to. And so, you know, you're gonna, you know, fall back a little bit, but I think it's gonna pick back up once I get in the habit and the balance of being able to push the other videos out. But lots of testing and things like that. And if you guys ever have any really good ideas, and I might even do some polls actually on different things that might be interesting to test and find out. I have some really cool video ideas, but I know you guys come up with some amazing stuff too. So if you guys ever have any ideas, let me know. Like I said, I'll probably do some polls. What's up, brother? Oh, by the way, KC, I overnighted that, so it'll be there tomorrow. Your quality definitely will make up for whatever quantity you put out. Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. It's quality over quantity instead of quantity over quality, which is what I went for before. I went for more quantity over quality, but then I guess I got insulted a couple times when because I would put so much work into some videos, and there's somebody out there in the fucking atmosphere would make a comment about being like a tabletop knife reviewer and not like putting into consideration like all the other videos, you know, that I've done. So I would make sure I would also do videos like that. I never wanted to be stuck in a box, and I just don't like being in a box. I don't want to be put in a box of this is what I do. I'd rather be put in a box to where you don't know what I'm going to do, you know. But in a good way, because it's not good to do that always. It's not good to not know what you're getting from a channel, but what I mean, like, you know what you're getting from the channel. You just don't know what type of content or how it's going to roll out type of thing. I think Facebook tried to trick me into subscribing to you, but it was fake, for your information. Well, first off, I'm never on Facebook. I do have a Facebook account. I have no idea how to get into it. Everything I post on Instagram goes to there, but I will never contact you through Facebook ever. Never ever. I'll contact you through Instagram. Now, like I said, when I post on Instagram, it goes over to Facebook. But if you get contacted on Facebook, it ain't me. Damn sure ain't me. Because I ain't been on there in like 2 years. You can compare CRKT models to their custom counterparts. Yeah, but I'd have to be able to get the customs. That's the only problem. I'm trying to work some stuff out with CRKT now and hopefully get some of the USA made stuff on the channel, but we'll see how that goes. Jared, 2 parts. Does it seem like everyone is coming up with knives in the $120 to $180 range going premium? And B, the $80 is starting to become the more normal price, probably due to our shopping habits. It's inflation. It's inflation. Materials and everything has went up. So it's difficult for a company, right? I'm just going to put it into construction because that's what I always did. If I have to build you and I'm just going to make it small, a doghouse, right? If I have to build you a doghouse, right? Last year, if the 2x4s were $2 a piece, and this year they're $7 a piece, price gone up, right? That's just the way it is. Same thing with these guys. You know, their materials are going up, everything's gone up, tooling's gone up, all that shit's gone up. So it comes out the back end. Now, as far as it seems like everyone is coming up with knives in the $120 to $280 range. Well, there's a specific zone that a lot of people are in, right? So it's like the thing like where it's not so much money that they think it's outrageous, but it's also not cheap enough to where they think that it's cheap, right? There's that balance where it's like it's quality, but it's not so expensive. And as long as I can get the materials and what I want for this amount, even if it's a wide range, even if it's $100 range, a lot of people are in that area. So I've missed your old videos where you tested knives. Well, we're going to do a lot of that and more. Like I was looking into getting a fucking an HRC tester the other day. Those things are not fucking cheap, man. Oh my goodness. To get a good one, it's like well over $1,000. Like the one I was looking at was like $1,700. I was like, yeah, I'm not swinging that right now. But I was thinking maybe if I can find one, but I want to get a new one because I want to make sure it's calibrated right. But anyways, I'm eventually going to probably get one. I know right now I have some friends in the community that I could probably send them to, throw them a few bones and have them test some knives for me, which I'll probably take advantage of one of these days and use it in the videos. I could do that right now, which will be a lower cost than buying one at the moment. But yeah, like I said, man, I got a lot of really cool video ideas. It's just, like I said, they take a little bit of time. So good evening, all. And the cell phone computer connection glitchy tonight. Shake, man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Jared, would you ever consider making a video of putting in your own choil? I have. I've made multiple, actually. I'm sure you could just find it. NeevesKnives, how to put a choil in or something. I forgot the name, but it's easy to find. I guarantee I could find it in 10 minutes or in 30 seconds. Just look it up. NeevesKnives choil. I have videos where I talk about plunge grinds and choils, but then I also have some where I put them in. I've got lots of videos on modifying and grinding knives and you know, fixing blades and things like that. Thing is that I have probably the widest range of content out of any channel. Like if you really look at it, I mean, don't get me wrong. There, like you could say, what the hell's his name? Damn it. Oh, Wranglestar. Wranglestar's got probably the widest range. He's got me beat for sure. I got hair on me. He's got me beat 100% for sure, but he doesn't really do knife content anymore. He used to do knife content because he was really into the Benchmade 940. Then he wound up getting the Para 3, but you know, he's into the teaching you how to survive what's coming soon type of thing. And that evolves a lot of really cool stuff. Is the knife market falling off? What do you mean? Why would you say that? I'm not sure why you'd say that. Richard Rogers Mutt versus his CRKT Montasa. Does the CRKT model compare to its custom? I haven't tried the custom. That's the only problem. So it'd be difficult for me to even say that unless if the custom maker will send me one. I mean, I would try to contact him, but that's not likely. Jared, would you ever consider making a, oh, I already did that one. Hey, Puppet, thank you, man. Thank you for the 5 bones. Hell yeah, I appreciate that. Just got the KIZER Moo, and the Detent feels so strong half the time. Mine was perfect. I fail the front flipper and grip my thumb against the jibbing. Will it break in? Yes, it will break in, but you can break it in faster. Take it apart and just take a little bit of pressure off the lock bar. Just as an example, right? That one's a liner lock, so let me grab a liner lock. So take the liner and bend it this way. Bend it the way that you open it. And just a little bit. Like here's a frame lock. It's probably a better example. So I would bend it this way, the way you open it. Bend it out just a little bit. A little goes a very long way. Don't try to make it to where you notice it before you put it together. Try to do it to where you don't barely notice it and then put it back together and check it. You'll break it in, or you'll at least lighten the detent a little bit. Now, if you go too far, you can always go back, but just don't go too far because you don't want to be moving your lock bar back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But it's pretty easy to adjust a detent if your detent is too strong or too light. But what you don't want to do is you don't want it so light that you start getting blade rock or anything. But if it's as strong as you're saying, then it won't, Today is the last day for Spyderco's pricing. 2124 Spyderco prices are increasing. Fuck, Mary, kill Chinese made edition, Kunwu Wee Kaiser, go. Oh, I see. Fuck, Mary, kill Chinese made edition. Oh man, that's tough. That's a tough one. I'll let you guys answer that. $2,000 for a good tester and needs to be calibrated on the regular. So I know like they need to be calibrated once a year. I don't know how to go about that. Now I do know how I can test it to make sure it's going well, because you can buy the hardness testers and you just check it, and if it's right, then it's calibrated, right? So like say if you have a disc that's 60 HRC and you test it on the thing and it shows up 60 HRC, well then it's good. And you have another one that's 70 HRC or whatever. But as far as when it stops becoming calibrated, having somebody come in and calibrate it, that's a whole nother story. I'm not sure how to go about that, but I'm sure I could talk to like Brian from Transparent Knives. He has somebody come in and calibrate his, unless if he does it himself, I'm not sure. But yeah, I know it's but luckily I'm at home. I'm not running like that type of thing, so as long as I can check it on the disc and it's accurate, I'll be fine. You inspired me to start making my own YouTube videos about knives. Hell yeah, King. That's dope. Good for you. Keep it up, man. It's been a while since I haven't been busy during these lives. About to sit back and crack a few beers. There you go. Sit back and relax and watch some NeevesKnives. I love it. What's up, Luck? What do you think of the new Claymore OTF? Which one's the Claymore OTF? You're talking about the Benchmade? The Benchmade? I don't know, man. I don't know. Benchmade does a good job. Let me see how much it is. 360. They have one for 315. That's the Grivery, or they're actually all Grivery. I just don't know. I don't see the value, man. I know it's an OTF. I know they do a good job, but you're talking about fucking D2 and Grivery for $360 fucking dollars. You're out of your damn mind. No, hell no. I think it's retarded. CPM D2, at least it's the better part of D2, but yeah, man, it's not like it's aluminum. If it was aluminum, I would say, it's okay maybe, but not for FRN, man. It's not worth it. I wouldn't buy it. I definitely wouldn't buy it. PC backup. Jared's got my McNees 3.5. So nice. Yeah, the McNeeses are pretty badass. They're really cool. I would love to get one in the collection. I don't have one, but I've definitely tried a bunch. I've had them in for sharpening. Some people say Jared is the Wrangle Star of knives, but I say Wrangle Star is the Jared of homesteading. I love it. I love it. I'll take it. I'll take it. FLN, it's supposed to be on the way, man. It's supposed to be on the way. I should have it in a couple days. I know I said that last week because that's what I was told last week. So just waiting, being patient. I know sometimes things take time, and we've had a bunch of hiccups on this one. So I'm just waiting for it to get here, and then we should be ready to go. It's supposed to be on its way today or tomorrow. Chris Reynold with the 279. Thank you, man. Just got the Veritas Murdered Out version banger. Hell yeah. That's badass. That is dope as shit. I saw the drop and was babysitting McNee's site waiting. Yeah, it's usually how it goes. You usually got to babysit them. If it's something good, you know, that's just how it goes, man. You got to be prepared. You got to be ready. That's why when some people, like the people that are part of the knife community, the people that pay attention and they watch and they listen, they know when to look, they know where to look. They spend all that time doing that, right? And then they drop. And then the people get mad that they sold out in 15 minutes. It's like, well, or they're mad because it's an hour later and they're gone, or 3 hours later, or the next day. It's like, yeah, I know you wanted one, right? I know you wanted one, but you didn't put that work in, right? These guys put that work in. It's kind of like the guys who get first pick at Blade Show. Those motherfuckers sleep in the dirt. They stay all night long. They bring snacks, lawn chairs and snacks. So to me, man, you deserve it. You deserve it, man. You fought your ass off to get that damn thing. The knife market is going down, baby. This time in a Range Rover Street Sweeper, baby. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the knife community will survive. It always does. First off, it always does. And I think the fact that we can't survive without the knives means that the knife community ain't going nowhere. You know, maybe there might be some little things that where people's budgets tighten back a little bit, but collecting will always be a thing. And then, you know, we're always going to need knives and sharpening and things like that. Like that's just, you know, the way of life. When you seemed pleasantly surprised during your review of the Misto, any features of it really stand out? Got it right here. I'm very pleasantly surprised. I love it. I love it a lot. I do notice one thing that my Benchmade bug out did, where it got a little bit of grit, and what it is it was the bar. So the bar right there is scraping against the tang of the blade, right? You know, the lock face. And it just needs to break in, but for a minute it gets gritty, like for like 3 days. So the bug out was like a 3 to 5 day thing, and mine got so bad that it was obnoxiously bad to where like I didn't even want to open and close it, but it needed to be open and closed. I took it apart, scrubbed it and cleaned it, put it back together, came back, and it just kept coming back. But that's how you have to get rid of it. If you want to get rid of it faster, you guys keep taking it apart and cleaning it, or at least clean it out from the back end. This one's not bad like that, but I can feel that it got, you know, it was super smooth from the start, got a little gritty, and now I can feel it starting to wear in. So I'm not upset at it or nothing, you know, just sometimes the way a crossbar lock is. Very, very solid. I seen Cutting Board, I think it's Cutting Board Knife Reviews. He posted one, and his came loose. His came with a little bit of play side to side. Mine's rock solid. I think his even failed the spine wax test with a stick. Mine passed. So I don't know. I'm very, very happy with mine. I personally, if I did smack it once, if it would have failed, I probably wouldn't have been too upset though. Like for me, because I just opened it. when I put it on camera, you guys were seeing it when I was seeing it. Like I seen it for 10 seconds before the camera went on, like just long enough to have it out of the box and set it there. It's a real first impressions. So when I spine whacked it, the fucker was only opened the dozen times I opened it right there, which I don't think personally is a good time to spine whack a knife. I think you should open and close a little bit and allow the lock bar to create engagement, because the lock bar is made to do that, right? But if you just whack the shit out of it the second you open it, and I'm not saying that's what he did, I don't know what he did. I'm saying if that happened to me, I would have said, well, let me let it break in and then we'll see what happens. Would you rather kiss Lynn Thompson one time on the lips or eat 5 large peaches in one sitting until failure? Large pizzas, for sure. That's an easy one, man. Dang it, it's the middle of the night here in Sweden, but I will watch anyways. Shout out to Sweden. Shout out to the Swedes. What's your take on Tucson knives? So I love Tucson knives. I did love Tucson knives, but I've been very disappointed in them the past year or more. So what happened was probably the first like 5 or 6 knives I got from them were so good. And then every knife I got after that just got better and better and better and better. And I created a lot of hype around them. You can go back in time in my videos. I created a ton of hype around Tucson's. I'm sure they made a lot of money off the channel. Then it just seemed like their quality took a standstill and wasn't getting any better. And then it seemed like it was getting worse. I don't know what happened, if they changed something around. I don't know. But things were getting let through or being sold that shouldn't have been. And I seen it over and over. And then it became like a hit or miss, where it was like I had like a 50-50 shot of whether or not it's going to be a good purchase or a bad purchase. And, you know, after that happening to me like a dozen times, I said, no, this ain't worth it. It's not worth taking a 50-50 shot with these fuckers, you know, like, because it was just like little things. And it's not easy to return. Not that you can return if you get it from Amazon and stuff like that, but it's not easy if you get it from eBay and stuff. And I'm not a big returner. I'm just not a big returner. I'll just swallow it. But I don't recommend you guys do that. Fucking return it. But another thing is that I finally got, so I was trying to get a hold of them for a while, and I finally got a hold of Tucson and was able to purchase knives directly from them in order to put on the channel for a good price. And because the price was good, I was able to get like 5 or 6 of them at a time. And then out of nowhere, after I did like 3 or 4 deals with them where I bought like 5 or 6 knives at a time, you know, at a little more than cost. Obviously, they were still making money on me. Then they turned around and fucking upped the price on me like a lot. Like I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not paying this much. Like, I might as well buy them off of Amazon or eBay. Like, I'm not paying this much for these. You're crazy. So that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. And then with the heat treatment thing, I always thought that they were going to work on their heat treatment, and it seemed like they were at first. Like I said, when I first got into them, they seemed like they were getting better and better, but then just out of nowhere, it's like they stopped. And it's like they started going backwards. So so their oldest models are nowhere near as good as their 100 and up models, right? So their beginning models 0 to 100 were good. The 100 to 200 were like getting great. Then all of a sudden they got to 200 and there was some fucking skips in there. I'm sure there's still some really good ones, even over 300-400, but yeah, some of them are not. Benchmade bug out is still king at $105 whenever was that? I don't think it was ever that. I think the cheapest it was 130. I won the Best at Dundy from Tri-State Live last night. What do you think about it? I love the Dundy. I like both of them too. I like the large and the small. The small is not a small knife. The large is not a super large knife. It's literally, both of them are perfect size. Like if you like a medium size knife, the small is great. If you like a full size knife, the large is great. Phenomenal action. The flipper tab's very well. It's very well done, not only with the jimping, but the angle, the detent. Everything's good about that thing. I like that thing a lot. I'd even love to see a premium one. Jared, thoughts on Maximet versus Rex 121? Bang, gang. Rex 121 is gonna outperform it as far as edge retention goes, just because it has a little bit more wear resistance. But both of them are just absolute monsters. So you really, if you're just looking for a high wear resistant steel, and that's all you care about is your working edge, because that's what that's what they hang on to the best, is their working edges. So Maximet has like a short life for a fine edge, but its working edge just keeps fucking going. So that's where the steels really, get their extreme edge retention, is with their working edges. And when I say working edges, what I mean is their paper cutting edges, right? A fine edge would be like hair shaving sharp, right? So they don't hold their fine edges really well, but they hold their working edges forever. And yeah, so if that's what you're looking for, is a steel that'll do that, then they're going to be right up your alley. Now I don't think that edge retention is the end all be all for steels. I think that a well heat treated steel that holds a really good edge, but also takes a really fine edge and has the ability to hold and keep and take a super fine edge, that's what I get into. That's what I love. Because with a steel like that, like say if I wanted it to be a tough knife, well then I can just raise my edge angle. But say if I want it to be a super slicing knife, I could just lower my edge angle and it'll have the ability to hold it. But some steels don't. Some steels just, they don't have the ability to take super low edge angles. Especially, and the heat treatment's everything about every steel. If it's a softer heat treatment, then it's not going to do as well with a slicey edge. It's not going to do well with a finer grit. And not even saying finer grit, like I'm more talking about just edge angle. But yeah, do you own a Padre? If so, which one? I'm thinking about trying to snag one, but haven't decided. Yeah, I got the satin one. Mech Force and Alpha Hunter Apocalypse is dope. Jim Skelton has a short on it. I have a black 920 mini Dundy. It's a very nice flipper liner lock for the price. Yeah, it's a good one. No, the Manx lightweight, when it was $95, was king of. Yes, I remember that. Now that I do remember. Yeah, that was badass. The good old days. Pizza the Manixes. Oh, he's just talking to pizza. If I had a bad experience with Tucson, I've officially wrote them off. I've had bad experiences with Tucson. I've officially wrote them off. I haven't wrote them off, but I've definitely put them on the back burner. If there was something that popped up that really caught my eye and I really looked good, then I might get it just to give them another shot. But I'm definitely not going out of my way to buy a bunch of them to find out that 5 out of 10 fucking suck. Especially because remember when before they were going for like $100, between like $80 and $100, and you were getting premium materials. Now they're like $150 for the same fucking thing. And then for the good ones, they're like $200. When the good ones before were like $115, $120. So, which I know things have went up, but sometimes, it's just not worth it if you don't know. And this is the next thing. This is the part that really grinds my gears. They don't send knives to reviewers. So they and if they did, I would trust them more, but they don't. So you don't have the ability to know how good a knife is unless if you buy it, right? And that goes for me and you guys. So it's nice when they're happy or they have confidence in their stuff that they do that, but they don't. So to me, that just puts a bad taste in my mouth right there. And like I said, their steels are soft. They need to work on that. Hey, brother, hope all is well with you in the bang gang. Thoughts on half stone premium CBN 6 stones? So I'll be honest. I'm not a huge fan. Now, let me be clear, and I'm just being honest. I haven't used them that much. So my opinion is on a very, very limited experience. I do have them, but I always go to my VNeeves. I like my VNeeves so much more. So maybe they're great, and maybe I just haven't given them a chance. And I will. I promise I will give them a chance, because I do want to do a full in-depth video on them, VNeeve versus those or whatever. I'm gonna do that. So that's one of the videos I have planned for the future. But their start stones, the HAPSTONE start stones, those are fucking badass. Those are good stones. They're regular diamond plates, so they're not going to be like their premium set, which is which is not it's diamond, but it's not a layer of diamond over the surface. So the layer of diamond over the surface, the start ones, will wear out eventually, but they're really good, so they're going to last a long time. The other ones are like inside of like a metal, so they're a little bit different. But to me, they don't bite enough. They don't have enough grit. They don't cut fast enough. So, but maybe it's me. Maybe I just need to work it out and figure it out. The Misto, I don't know if it's Misto or Misto. It's fire premium USA for less than 500 bones. Yes, it is. And it's really good. And think about it, this is stock too. So you're getting stock full titanium scales with magnet cut for 62 to 64 HRC. Good action, great lockup, deep carry clip. The clip is not titanium, it is steel. But the only problem is it has button screws. I don't like that. But anyways, the knife itself, though, really dope, really badass. Definitely worth the $320 or $330 for sure. I started thinking about it. So let's say Kershaw's, right? Kershaw's the Bel Air, $150. That's what we're selling it for on our site. And if you guys want one, there's like 3 left. There might not even be any left. I don't know. There was 3 left earlier today. So if you guys want to get one of the Bel Airs that we have in stock, we have like 3 left. Anyways, the Bel Air in this, right? One thing that's different is the HRC is better on this. There's a 62. This is 62 to 64. So you have a chance of it being 62, but you probably have a better chance of Kershaw's being 61 than this being, under. You guys know what I mean. It's going to be a little bit better on this. And I'm guessing an average of 63. However, the Kershaw's obviously $150 on our site, which we do have the most affordable. Otherwise, it's like $165 with aluminum scales. So for $60 more, $70 more, you get titanium scales. That's not too shabby, because considering what original goat scales cost for titanium scales and what other companies like Flytanium and other companies that aren't even USA made companies charge for titanium scales, that's a damn good value. So to me, this is a no-brainer knife right here. And if you bought like a Hogue Deca, this would cost about as much as if you bought a Hogue Deca and then some aluminum scales. I wish a Spyderco Shaman had the Manx lock. Me too. I wish the Gail Bradley had that. Fuck, man. If the Gail Bradley had that lock, I think that might be my favorite knife of all time. Yeah, but the Native is hell of a knife. Like, you really can't get much better in outright cutting performance. I think the another good one is the stretch. The stretch, man. That blade shape, the ergonomics, the whole thing, man. That is just an absolute badass knife. It was 115, but it was 105 with 10% off. That's what I got my first one for. Yeah, that lasted 10 minutes. Benchmade sucks. I got 4 knives with broken Omega springs, but Omega springs are very cheap. I don't know why you have 4 knives with broken Omega springs when they're $6 a pair. You could probably get a whole set for like $10. Like not a whole set. I mean, you can get a set for like $6, but you can get multiple sets. So get some new Omega springs, and the aftermarket ones are way better than Benchmade's. I agree. Benchmade's Omega springs are nowhere near as good as the aftermarket ones. That's why you get the aftermarket ones. I have so many. Like KIZER, they send you extra Omega springs. I'll use KIZER's Omega springs. That's what I threw in the Kershaw was KIZER's Omega Springs from the Drop Bear or the Escort, one of the two. And it is really badass. Theirs are a lot stronger, much more durable. So I would say just buy the ones off of Etsy or Amazon. I can link them right now. Literally go into my NeevesKnives store and go to the top bar and just search Omega Springs, and all Benchmade Omega Springs will pop up for you. You can fix them, and then you won't have to worry about it no more, because they will be much better. Benchmade will replace the springs for you. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like you're gonna get the same springs. So one time I've sent mine in before. I sent one in, and a week later they broke again. Sent it back in, and a week later it broke again. And then I put some aftermarket ones in, and they're still in there. I'm not saying that's going to happen to you, because I have some Benchmade Omega Springs that have never broke, that are still the stock ones that are great. So I just think sometimes something happens inside there where they catch and they break. I don't know why, but it does. But having extra Omega Springs is the way to go. What's my favorite Shirogorov? My favorite one in my collection is the F59. My favorite one of all, I don't know. I really like that. Oh fuck, I can't even remember the name of it now. There's a designer that did one with Shirogorov. I can't think of the name. It wasn't Les George. It was damn it. It's one of those. There's a collaboration knife they did that I really like. That'd probably be my favorite one, but I can't remember the name of it. But in my collection, the F59. Is it possible to get a good edge on 15V from the Work Sharp Field Sharpener? Yeah, because it's diamonds, but I wouldn't want to, because that's a fucking beast mode steel. So you're going to be on there for a minute. Now, I would say this. So if you're going to do a high angle edge, so I'm guessing obviously it's a Spyderco you're sharpening. So Spydercos do best with a low angle edge. So because they're like 20 thousandths behind the edge. So to me, I like to put between 15 and 17 degrees on a Spyderco. I usually do 15, but let's just say between 15 and 17. If you go with the Work Sharp, theirs is a 20-degree angle. Now you can change that and just do your own angle, but it's going to take you a while. But yeah, you can absolutely do it. It's not, I mean, I personally could probably do it pretty quick. If you're really good, you probably can. But if you use their angle, the edge angle that Work Sharp gives you, it'll go a lot faster, because that's a 20 degree angle. So it'll definitely go a lot faster for you. But yeah, you can absolutely do it. I won the Chris Reeves knife small Sabenza and Magnica from Tri-State EDC last night. What are your thoughts on the knife? Good for you, man. Congratulations. Fuck that guy Cole anyways. No, I'm just joking. No, shout out to Cole. Shout out to Tri-State EDC. Definitely go and check out his channel. But I like the Sabenza. I'm not a fan of the small one as much. I've never owned one. I've had them in, but not that I wouldn't love to own one, but it's just a little bit too small for me. I like the size of the big one. It'd be cool if they did one in between there. But yeah, man, good for you. It's an awesome knife. So I'm not sure which one you got, but Jared, my brother, just got a Rockstead knife. Oh, your brother just got a Rockstead knife and he's loving it. Good for him. And that's a badass knife to get. I'm still thinking about doing this where I carry a Rockstead for a week, or carry a Rockstead for, and just use it for whatever I'm using knives for the week. And then show what the edge looks like, under the microscope after a week, and possibly even sharpen it myself. Problem is I'll have to put an edge bevel on it. So if I send it in, they'll bring it back to a zero grind. I think I've heard rumors that they just do a new edge bevel, but it seems like when you read their site that they'll bring it back to new. I don't know. If anybody's ever sent anything in to Rockstead for sharpening, I'd love to hear it. Hey, Jared, do I want a McNees Mac 2 3-inch? Do you want, or do I want? Do you want? I like the 3.5 more. I'm personally like if I was gonna buy one, I'd go for the 3.5. I probably wouldn't go for the 3. So that's gonna be on your like what you like more, if you like 3-inch or 3.5. The one problem I have with some of them is they're very some of them. I know there's different ones. Some of them are thick. And I think the 3-inch one's a little bit too robust for my liking for such a short knife. But yeah, they're a little bit on the more robust side, you know. So $50 VG10 Spyderco's. The BD1N was the MAP 95 before the last big price hike. Yes, yes, it was. Which there's nothing wrong with BD1N steel. You know, it is a budget steel, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's still a decent steel. What's your thoughts on it on an HRC of 62 on Magna Cut from Italy? Um, I think 62 is I would say 62 is okay, but 63 is much better. I say 63 plus is what you want on folding knives. 62 is something you want on fixed blades. So I would say 61, 62 for fixed blades, 63 plus for folders is what you want. That's what's optimal. But if you get 62 on a folder, it's not dirt, right? The problem with Italy is Italy in many cases does it much, much softer than that. I'm not saying I don't know what company you're talking about, but I've seen Magna Cut from the Italian companies like 58 to 60, 60, 61. So if they're doing it 62, I'd say they're doing okay from Italy because that's better than their reputation for sure. Oh man, big pimping with the 5 bones, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the donny. Um, and guys, thank you guys to everybody. I didn't know how to check the donations from the videos. Like say for my regular videos, you guys can donate. I'm trying to set this thing. You guys can donate donations during videos. Well, I just found out how to check them. So I seen some that you guys sent in months ago, and I feel so bad I didn't say anything, but thank you guys. 174 to 270 for plastic and steel. Yeah, but I mean, yes, for sure. G10 you could say is a souped up plastic, right? But G10 still has to be machined. So there is a difference between FRN. FRN is can be molded. G10 has to be machined. So that is the difference there. Now, steels, there's all different steels. So just saying and steel doesn't make sense. You know, because that's like saying a car, right? What car? What kind of car? So there's steels of all different but I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying. The whole point of getting a Tucson was the price, right? You felt like you were getting at the time, I felt like I was getting damn near Riet quality. Not quite Riet, but damn near. And I even did a video comparing them to Riet. Watch that video. You'll see, man, they were doing so good at that time. Like everything that the Riet had, the Tucson had too. Now the Riet was still a little bit more refined, a little bit better, but Tucson was right there with them, and they were like $300 less or $200 less. So Jared, how much more money would you say is reasonable for an American-made knife, generally speaking, assuming all materials is the same? Like if the Momo 109 was made, so if the Momo was made in the USA, I would expect it to be about $120 to $130. And now, it does depend on what company and everything. What is it? It uses 154 cm in aluminum. So you could say that's like the Kershaw launch series, right? But it is a manual. So yeah, between 115, 130 bucks. But it just depends though, like because some knives do take a little bit more effort than others. That's a steel liner lock. So those are punched out, those liners are punched out and then bent, and then the aluminum part is machined. So but I think a reasonable price for USA made knives are between 110, 120 to 250. I think that's reasonable for USA made knives. I'll say there are going to be some exceptions where going up to 350, 450 is a good idea. And in some cases, even higher. It just depends on the quality. If you want like Koenig quality, well, then you're going to pay over 600 bucks. You're just gonna. Um, so it just depends on what you want, right? But if you just want a good old American made knife with fucking good heat treatment, good material, solid build quality, you can get it for under 200 bucks. The HAPSTONE Starp stones are CBM. They are just electroplated instead of resin or metallic bonded. Right. The premiums are metallic bonded though. What are good scales that he should get for his Rockset knife? I don't know. I seen somebody showed me a picture the other day of somebody that bought some aftermarket scales. I'm not sure where they came from or anything. I didn't know the 111. I don't know what they're talking about. When you say 111, I think of Cheryl Goroff. I got the Cheryl Goroff 111. Let's replace Start stone is the fastest cutting 1x6 stone I've ever touched, even out cutting the atomic. Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I keep saying. The start stones from HAPSTONE, the 100 is very, very good. That's why I literally say get either that or the Atoma. That to me is those are the best first stones you can get, especially as far as like reprofiling stones. Obviously, if you already have the edge angle and you are not changing the edge angle, you don't have to start with that low. I still do in many cases, but yeah, the 100 cuts like a motherfucker. And I found that it lasts. Like it does not wear out. That's what I mean. That's why I recommend those. Those are my favorite. Some of my favorite diamond plates are the HAPSTONE starts. I'm glad I wound up. I got some. I'm definitely going to get more of them. Hinder charges $200 for a single titanium scales. I know they do. And so, yeah, think about that. Think about that. How do you take care of the Neeves again? Depends. But so what you want to do is you want to condition them, and I would say condition them every few sharpenings, and just get a nanowa or a Nagura stone. So it's just a little aluminum oxide stone about this big, and you just scrub it, right? Like kind of like you would scrub a dish with a sponge, right? You just scrub it, and all you're doing is you're removing any steel particles that are covering the surface, and you're cutting the resin from around the diamonds. So the diamonds will be sticking up out of the surface like this, right? Well, as you sharpen, the diamonds go lower, because they wear down, and then the resin is higher. So then you use the conditioning stone to clean or to cut the resin off and then expose more diamonds, and that's why you never use diamonds on diamonds. Use aluminum oxide, silicon carbide, something like that. Now, once a year or so, it just depends on how much you sharpen, you're going to want to flatten your stones. This will bring them back to brand new. And what you want to get is silicon carbide powder and some sort of glass dish or a sheet of glass or sheet of marble, some sort of ultra flat surface. You pour 1 capful of silicon carbide powder between 60 and 90 grit. You can go 60 to 200, 300 grit. It doesn't matter. But obviously, the coarser, the faster it'll go, the finer, the longer it'll take. Pour a capful of that, pour a capful of water, and then you just flatten it on that surface, because the silicon carbide grit will basically knock down all the resin from around the diamonds, exposing all the diamonds, making the surface perfectly flat and brand new again. So that's how you do it. But you don't have to do that very often. As long as you're conditioning it, as long as you have a Nagura stone or some sort, you don't even have to have just a Nagura. You can have any sort of stone. You can literally have some cheap sharpening stone. As long as it's aluminum oxide, you could use that. I do that. Like I literally will grab one of my shitty cheap sharpening stones that I bought off of Amazon, just some water stone. I'll use that to condition them. It just needs to be some sort of aluminum oxide stone. That's the point, unpopular opinion. I'm kind of over Benchmade. I kind of feel you. I'm kind of over them too. I want them to do well. I really want to check out that new knife that they have coming. That seems like it's reasonable compared to their other prices. I mean, it's a lot more than what the Benchmade Griptilian is, but it's like, what, it's like $60. No, yeah, $60 more than the Benchmade Griptilian or something like that. And the only upgrade is the steel. Anyways, I'd like to check that one out, but other than that, like, they don't really have that much that, like, I'm, like, going psyched over. Yes, the Stretch 2 straight back is my absolute favorite. Badass. Yeah, that thing, man, that thing, I wish I would have never gotten rid of mine. I just received my mini FSD from Brown Knives on his last drop, 126.24. I got the number 293 with pattern number 1. He's stopping making mini FSDs to make the Cortex or Corex, whatever, Corex XL. Total grow for me. I don't know what. I should look that up. The core. Are you talking about the Cortex? Is that wouldn't that be Cortex? Anyways, yeah, I'd like to get one of his knives, man. I think most people. Hinder knives don't slice well enough. Well, no, they're not made for to be slicey. That's the argument that I always pose. Like, that's my biggest argument. It's like your knives are super thick, so they're already hard use. So what the fuck is your steel doing so soft? Like, why is it so soft? That doesn't make sense. You can't make it make sense. Because even if you're going to say, well, we want our steel, we want our blades to be tough. Yeah, that's why they're thick. Right? That's why they're fucking thick. What about edge retention? What about sharpening ability? What about the ability to take a good fine edge? What about its ability to strap back and hone back and all those good things, right? Because in order to, for a steel to strap and hone back over and over and over and do it very well with great response, you need to be able to put a low angle edge. So the lower the angle, the edge you put on a knife, the easier it's going to be to hone and strap back. So if you have a steel, for an example, that takes a good edge at a low, and I'm not saying ultra low, I'm just saying it does well with a lower angle because it has good edge stability, right? So you have the ability to put a 17-degree or a 15-degree edge bevel on a knife that has a little bit thicker geometry, and then the apex winds up being thinner. So that makes it better and easier for your strap to be more effective, right? If you have an edge angle like this, your strap isn't going to be that effective. It's too thick behind the apex. But if it's like this, it's very thin behind the apex. So your strap is much more effective. Your honing is much more effective. So anyways, I just don't think, I think that I love Hinder. Let me just be clear. I fucking love Hinder. And that's what kind of upsets me about it, because I love Hinder. I love their knives. Their build quality is phenomenal. And yeah, but I'm starting to think they're a little bit outdated with their knives, right? Just with their steel, because we've gone so far in the past 10 years. And I know, like, there's some guys that have been in the community for ages and they think they know everything. But that's not the right head to have in any industry. You should want to evolve and allow the new generation to teach you things, because the new generation learned what you knew. You stopped learning and the new generation takes over. That's usually how any industry goes, right? So allow them to teach you things, and be open-minded. Don't just close everything off. And I think if you do that, then you can evolve and grow with the times. And I think that Hinders are just starting to fall back on the times. Their knives are still great. Their build quality is top notch. Great USA made knives. But, for a hard use knife, yeah, it's a great hard use knife, but it's not a great EDC knife. It's a super tough knife. Now, if you go and get it reground, then they're really good. That's where they're really good, is if you get them reground. But still, they're soft now, So let's say you thin out the edge. Yeah, the edge is gonna hold up, or it's gonna be a lot slicier, but it's not going to have still the ability to take a nice edge angle that you might want or might not want. So like, just for an example, like my XM18, I put a 15-degree edge bevel on and I put a fine grit on it. It rapidly lost bite. And this is on 20 CV, right? So 20 CV, if it's heat treated well at a higher HRC, it fucking takes a really good polished edge. And I didn't like polish it like crazy. So it's not like it doesn't still have a scratch. It still had a scratch pattern, but very, very light, right? Where I take a lot of 20 CV too. But this stuff, I started using it. It just got slick as shit. Even though right off the stone, man, it had a ton of bite, like a lot of bite. Not as much bite as it would have had if it was a harder steel. But anyway, so it went dull really fast. So I wound up having to lower my grit before it ever even needed a new sharpening because it had no bite. So I don't want a knife that's going to slip out of cuts. And that's what it was doing because it didn't have any bite anymore. So I had to put a lower grit on it. Threw a lower grit on it, and in the same thing, kind of, right? The lower grit, yes, it definitely holds bite a lot longer than the finer grit, but it's not holding the bite like it would if it was harder. So now I have to strop it back more, and it's not even as responsive to the stropping as I would like. So getting my first Benchmade last week, but I was like, nah. Nah. Fuck that. It's hard for me to buy knives these days because I have to save money. And by the time it's trigger time, it's sold out. Well, that's why you should just plan, right? Just plan your attack. Yes, that's who it was. RJ Martin. Thank you, Deacon. That's the exact one I was thinking of. Yes, RJ Martin in the Shirogorov collab. That's probably my favorite one. I haven't tried it, so I can't say for certain, but it looks like it is. It looks like it's dope as shit. But anyways, yeah, plan your attack, bud. Plan your attack, and then know what's coming, know what's gonna drop, right? Like say like the new Wii Cubit, right? You guys know the Wii Cubit's coming, right? You had probably like 2 weeks, it's dropping on the 7th. So you guys know it's coming, and it is dope. It is dope as shit. So you can wait for my video to drop and then buy it through my link. But yeah, man, you already knew that thing was going to be good because the Civivi one was good, right? I'll tell you what, I can't show you guys it, but it feels much better. So like this thing, I love this thing. My detent on the Wii one is way more stout. Like, I mean, like that thing it cracks. Like when you open it, you guys will hear it. Like this thing cracks, but that thing cracks. It has a loud pop and it hits like a hammer. And it's rock solid lockup. Everything about it's great. And it has a nice feeling to it. "17 degrees, okay for spider coefficient. It's my work knife. Put it at 20 to 20 because I carry a field sharpener, but is 17 better?" So the spider coefficient, I would say, yeah, 17 is going to be a little bit better. So what's going to happen at 17, between 17 and 20, is it will be sharper and it will have a little bit better edge retention. So you're going to have a little bit better edge retention and it'll be sharper. And again, it'll be easier to hone and strap back. The downsides are it's not as tough. So if you see any impact or anything like that, then you might want to leave it at 20, right? 20 degrees is a good angle for toughness, but it's not a great angle for edge retention and sliciness. 17 degrees is that happy medium balance in most cases. Now, there's going to be some exceptions, depends on the geometry and all that, but we're talking about the spider coefficient right now. So the spider coefficient at 17 degrees, it's not going to hold as much toughness as the 20, but Spyderco's geometry is already kind of set up for toughness. So it's a slicey blade because it's a full flat, or because they usually do full flat grinds, but they usually are about 20 thousandths behind the edge in most cases. Not all, but in many cases. So that's a thickness that allows you to have a little bit of a lower angle. And then the next thing is Spyderco 9 times out of 10 does a really good job with their heat treatment. So in many cases, 10 out of 10. So if you're wanting a low angle edge, Spyderco is the way to go. Spyderco, man, I don't even sharpen Spydercos unless if I do a low angle edge, because it just doesn't make sense not to. Why not take advantage of the steel, right? Because I want the high level of sharpness. I want the ease of stropping and honing. I want that crispiness and that stickiness of the blade to last as long as possible. So that's what I'd say to you. I'd say if you're tough on the knife, go 20. If you're not really tough on the, and when I say tough, I mean impacting things. Is it smacking into things? Is it, is it possibly hitting staples? Things like that. If it's doing those things, go with 20. If it's not, and you're just using it for regular cutting stuff, wood, plastic, rope, cardboard, shit like that, go with 17. And then since the work sharp is 20 degrees, you can you can still use it, because all you're going to do is your bevel will be smaller, right? But the difference between 17 and 20 is not so much that you're not going to be able to still use it. So the plan should be, when you need to tune up your edge, use the work sharp, but plan on resharpening it soon after. Doesn't have to be the same day, but within a week or so, plan on sharpening it, and then get the most out of your edge. Put the 20-degree edge bevel on there, tune it up however you got to, over and over, until it's not doing it really no more and it's not becoming sharp, and then put it back on the sharpener, your at-home sharpener. I'm guessing you have an at-home sharpener, and put it back to 17. And you can kind of just use the 20 degree as a micro bevel, even though that's not a micro bevel, but you can kind of use it the same way. What games are Kara playing these days? Dying Light or something? She plays a few different ones, but what HRC should I expect on a Kershaw Bel Air? 62. 62. That, I think Giant Mouse is listing their MagnaCut 62 HRC now. I'm not sure. This one's LMAX, so I'll have to double check that. I can reach out to them and find out, but that'd be great if, because I'd rather see it 63 plus, but as long as it's not like, 60, I'm pretty happy, because like I said, Giant Mouse is an Italian company, and these days we expect shit soft steel from Italian companies. So as long as it's not shit soft, I'm happy with it. And 62 is not shit soft. The MagnaCut 62 from Italy is the new Giant Mouse GM11, dropping tomorrow, and I'm kind of hesitant because I've seen their other steels being soft. Right. So, like I said, 62 is not, it's not retarded soft, right? But it's softer than what we want it to be for a folding knife. So, I'd say it's still good. Hey, there he is. Super Steel Steve's in the house. Rusty Racer and Barkeeper's Friend will condition Neeves stones like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, Barkeeper's Friend. I use that on my ceramics. That works really well. It works well on everything. It's just a powder, so it's got a grit to it. So yeah, if you don't have a stone or anything, that sounds like a good idea. And yeah, I've never tried a Rusty Razor, but I could see that working. Anything with any sort of grit is going to work well. You just don't want to use anything with diamonds. You want to use stuff that's softer than diamonds. So yeah, that's a good idea. I never even thought about that. As far as the Rusty Racer. I've got a mini grip Tillion and M4, and it's a damn good little knife. Holds an edge like a motherfucker. Hell yeah. M4 is a beast, man. M4 is a badass steel. I think it's a 9 on an edge retention scale. There's 1 out of 10, right? There was my pop mic. Sorry, guys. But M4 is like a 9 out of 10. That's a beast mode steel. Jared versus Hinder, part 2. Benchmade sharpening service takes off lots of steel. Mine didn't even come back all that sharp. I personally wouldn't use it. unless if it's serrations, right? That'd probably be the only time I'd still do my own serrations, but I'm saying for you guys, that's the only time I would use it. And this is the reason why. Who do you think is sharpening those knives? Really, really think about this. Who do you think they have sharpening the knives you've already purchased? Right? They've already sold the knife to you, right? They've already got your money. Who's sharpening your knives? Probably the new guy. Probably the new guy. I've got a mini Griptilian M4, and it's a damn good little knife. Oh, I already read that one. Fellow knife lovers, thanks for the awesome content. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Great stuff. All right, brother. Talk to you later. I'll see you here in a few days. M390 from MKM makes me sad. 58 to 60. All the Italian stuff, man. They're fucking getting a bad reputation. You know, I remember, what was it, like 2 years ago, they had that reputation. And I thought, and then this is just me hoping, I guess. I hoped and wished and thought that they would fix it if we screamed about it enough, right? And we've been screaming from the rooftops about it, but they just have not budged. Hopefully they do this year, because I've said it, and I even had, you guys probably don't know this, but somebody from the knife community was started working for them. And a lot of you guys know who he is. Jack Farm Boy. Anyways, he was working for Giant Mouse, and I even talked to him and had him relay the message like, hey, you got to tell them, man, fucking people are they're starting to get a bad reputation. And then I found to tell them, like, it's not even starting. They have a bad reputation. Like, their reputation is shit soft steels. Everybody knows it. Like, and it's not like we wonder or we think, you know, it's not a fucking conspiracy. It's been tested. Like, we know, right? And it's just clear as day, because it's not like they say they're HRC or something. They admit what their shit is. Anyways, Metalhead, thank you for the 10 bones. Thoughts on the new Kershaw Bel Air? Got a full review, brother. Got a full review. I personally love it. We got a couple left on the NeevesKniveCo site if you want to get one. We have the cheapest prices right now. I'm not even sure if there's any left, but you can check it. The NeevesKniveCo site is linked down in the description. We had 3 left earlier today, but I don't know what's left now. But ours are only 150 bucks. I think they're going for 160, 165 everywhere else. So, but it's an awesome knife. It's really good. Yeah, you know, I'd like their HRC to be a little bit harder, but it's not dog shit soft, right? 62, you know, it's okay. And I know, you know, it's tough because there's so many other companies running it 63 plus, you know, even Hogue 62 to 64. I'm fucking happy with that. So, you know, it'd be nice if they did up it a little bit, but I'm not so mad at it. I did an edge retention test. You can check it out. It did good. I seen Steve today. He's back doing some edge retention tests. I love it. Love to fucking see it. I actually just sent him a package too, so he should be getting a package here really, really soon. Sorry, guys. I'm so backed up. If there was anything you guys said that you guys want me to see, just rewrite it, because I had to catch up. Of course, the Manx 2 is an awesome knife. That's like one of the best knives. I actually just sent one to the Rex 45 to Steve. I'm not sure if he's still in here, but I sent him one of those ones as a gift, and because I know he's gonna love it. The fucking thing is hard not to love. You know, it's just a badass knife. And yeah, man, it's a super tough knife, you know, as far as, you know, the lock and all that stuff, you know, especially once it breaks in and everything. But the geometry's very well done. The heat treatment's very well done. Rex 45 is a motherfucker, in a good way. But they come in different steels, so they have different, you know, flavors, different options, different colors. The Manix is one of my favorite knives of all time. I'm waiting on the 15V Para 3 lightweight. Could you recommend a MagnaCut fixed blade? Yep. Yes, I can. Steve Kalari. He makes handmade knives. He might be in here right now. Shout out to Steve Kalari Customs. He will make you a fixed blade in MagnaCut at whatever geometry and HRC you want. So if you're wanting something that's production, which yeah, you'll save some money on it, but Steve's not charging you like probably what he should be charging you, to be honest. But if you want a production knife, I don't know if Work Tough Gear is doing MagnaCut yet, but I heard something about them doing it. I could be wrong, but man, Work Tough Gear is really, I really like what they're doing. I'm trying to think of another company that's using MagnaCut and fixed blades right now. That's a production company. I'm not sure. I got to think about that. I can't think of them right now. I'm sure you guys can. There you go. There he is. Yes, I will. There you go. Right there. There's the man. Should I get a Roosevelt knife on the second-hand market or what? Oh man, depends on the money. Depends on how much it is. I would say, yeah, man. Pull the trigger if it's good. Hey, Brian's in the house. Transparent Knife says the new Fox ATCF original gangster looks amazing, but it's MagnaCut advertised 59 to 61. And they probably will have some below spec too. Fuck. 59 and 61, you tested, it's 57. Dude, I know what you mean. That thing to me, I think that is just an absolute gorgeous knife. I love it. I'm a huge fan of Bob Terzola's designs. He's one of my favorite designers. Like I love that straightforward look. It looks like such a versatile tool to me. So yeah, man, I feel you on that. But damn it, man, that just, it sucks, man, because when there's a design you really, really, really want, like I've done it, man. I've done it where I've literally swallowed it and fucking bought the knife, even though I knew it was dog shit soft. But you know, it's yeah, it just is what it is, man. That sucks. You wish they would do something about that. Jared, what is the holy grail for 2024? My own knife. My own knives. I want to do my own knives. I'd like to have my own knife designs. I'd like to have multiple. So that's the grail this year. My own knife designs. Other than that, I would love, people keep mentioning the FSD. I'd love to get one of those. I'd love to get a Rosie. I'd love to get an Arius. I really would love to get a Holt. Yeah, there's a lot of shit I love that I don't have that I want to get. But those guys, you know, they're just tough to get. And it's tough to spend that much money on. Oh, one I'm really wanting right now is a Herman Sting. Or sorry. The Herman Slim. The Herman Slim and the Dragonfly is what I'm kind of after right now. That Slim looks super dope. I love how it is slim and long. It looks badass. Dylan with the 2 bones. Thank you, brother. Does anyone make scales for the Manix 2 lightweight? Very soon. So Original Goat is working on some right now, but it's gonna be a little while because they had to do the MSI and the stitch. So they're in the middle of working on those right now, but as soon as they're done with those, then the Manix is next. Ain't nobody sharpening my knives but me, and Neeves has quite literally helped me put razor sharp, stout edges on all my knives in a variety of steels. Every one of them are fantastic. So cheers, mate. Cheers to you, man. Yeah, man, it's a game changer when you can sharpen your own knives. Even just the worry of things like, say, using your knife, like you don't care about using it in fucked up ways or whatever, because you're just like, I can sharpen it, you actually start enjoying. I remember, like, this was a long time ago, but I remember when I wasn't really good at sharpening, I was super careful with my edges because I did not want to have to put it in the drawer, and buy another knife, because I would try to sharpen, But let's be honest. The edges were worse after sharpening than they were before I started. You make a knife, I will be the first one to get it. We got some coming, Big Daddy. Some are coming. Regarding knife sharpening services, that is same. Before I learned how to sharpen, the idea of using something and going dull stressed me out. Right. It does. Because you know a real bad thing is being a knife guy and somebody wanting to check out your knife and it being dull. And it will happen if you're using your knife because it's just inevitable. Your edge is going to go dull. But if you can sharpen, and you don't even have to be like a fucking pro. Like you don't even have to. You'll become a pro after so long. Is just the way it works. You do something so long, you're going to get good at it. But you don't have to be that good. You just have to be able to do it. If you get a half-ass, I was so proud of my edges when I started sharpening. Before, and like now thinking about it now, I would look at those edges and say that I had a lot of work to do, right? But I was so proud of them because they were sharp, right? They were sharp and they would work. So be proud of your edges, man. Be proud of them. As time goes on, you'll get better and better and better and better. And what winds up happening too is the longer you sharpen and the more you sharpen, the better you also get at stropping and honing. That comes naturally with the territory because the better your edges get, right? The like I was saying earlier, the lower the angles you put on a knife, the easier it's going to be to strop and hone back because it's just geometry, right? So you have less material to remove when you're stropping, and the apex is a lot smaller. So your stropping compound is going to be more effective on a slimmer apex than it will be on a thicker apex, right? Well, when you're getting good at sharpening, you tend to start dropping your angles and start doing a little bit lower angles, a little bit slicier. It depends on the geometry of the knife, but you know what I mean? Like, but then what happens is you have an edge that you've made incredibly sharp, and now to hone it and strop back it is much easier, and you're getting better at it. So those things just fall in place. So now an edge that used to last you only so long can last you 10 times as long because you can easily strop it back, and you kind of know when and when not to. um Metalhead with another 10 bones. Another question. I bought a quiet carry drift a while ago. Are all quiet carry knives stiff upon opening like that one? That one was a big downer. No. So the drift is on washers. So that is so what you're looking for is the quiet carry 9 or the drift LC. The regular drift is on washers. So here, let me show you. So here's the difference between them. Here's the drift. Here's the 9. Big difference. You want the ones on bearings. That's why I was kind of upset. Not upset. That's why I was saying that I kind of wished they would have done their new model, the Waypoint. Where is it at? The new Waypoint. I love this thing, man. This thing is so dope. But this one's on washers too. It's very smooth for washers, but it's still on washers. I wish it was on bearings, but it's really good though. This is a damn good knife. And this one's in Magna Cut. Schmuck all over my blade. Yeah, still holding the edge good. This is a great knife. This is another good straightforward knife. Like kind of like we were talking about earlier about the ATCF. I love this design. You guys done sold yet? What? I don't know what that means. Never drop your angle if you have a bad back. It's a bitch to pick up. Have you tried the Herman Mantis? No, there's a few I haven't tried yet. So the one I'm focused on right now is the Slim. Next is the Dragonfly, and the next after that will probably be the Mantis. Can a knife with washers be switched to bearings? Not likely. The only way possible is if you machine out the pivot in some way, shape, or form, because you're almost never going to be able to get bearings as thin as, I'm not saying they don't exist, because I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's bearings that you can find that have extremely, extremely tiny balls that have a very thin washer holding them together. But, you know, that's tough. I would say the better way to do it is just to machine it out and get good bearings, but polish your washers. That'll make them a lot smoother. Polish them, you know, slick them all from OCD for EDC. Justin, he makes the slick them all stuff. That stuff makes washers fucking super smooth. I thought I heard from another YouTuber that changing out the FRN scales on a Spyderco could mess up the knife's balance. Anyone else agree? I do. Well, no matter what, if you change scales, the balance is going to be different. No matter what, just like the weight's going to be different, everything's going to be different. A knife feels very different when you change scales, hands down. What, for better or worse, right? Better or worse. Usually for the better. But I'll say this. The Manx lightweight is amazing the way it is. You don't need to upgrade the scales. However, if you want to, I can understand, because I am not a big fan of FRN. The only FRN scales I like are from Spyderco, because Spydercos are more rigid, right? They're super lightweight, but they're tough. Other FRN scales are fucking flimsy, right? So Spydercos are not like that. So that's why I'm okay with them. Now, new scales really makes the quality feel like it goes up. But the thing it takes away from the lightweight Manx is that the lightweight Manx, it has a weird feeling because it's so solid yet so light, right? So that gives you this feeling over time, like while you're using it and everything, it feels like there's nothing in your hand, yet it's so solid. The lock, you can hear the locking gauge, you know, if nice and strong. So like all those things, you get used to it. And then if you switch scales, that might change that thing that you like about that knife. That's why I'm going to keep one of my lightweights without scales. I'm just going to leave the factory scales on there. I'm going to switch one of them because I have a couple of them. So that way I can have a little bit of both. Because as far as right now goes, I am carrying my lightweight far more than I'm carrying my other ones that are in titanium. I have two other ones in titanium. That's usually how I am. Don't mind Cold Steel's FRN, thick enough. Yeah, I'll agree with you on there, Todd. Their FRN's pretty good too. Plus, that's a hard use knife. Like my lightweight one, like the scales that this one had, I knew they were FRN, but they didn't feel much different than G10 because they're so thick. This knife is so strong and so solid, and being a hard use knife the way it is, I don't mind it either on that one. That one kind of makes sense. But on the balance of probabilities, you know, with companies, I received compliments from the girls on the red tobacco. Yeah, buddy, Papa Pete, I'm telling you, man, that's some banger shit. We actually got some fragrances to talk about right now. Where are they? The hell? Oh. So I bought this new some fragrances from this new company. Confessions of a Rebel. Every one of them are called something weird. All right, something different. So the first one is Bitch Please. Bitch Please. The second one is Let's Be Real. And the last one is Fuck Mondays. So my favorite one out of all these is Fuck Mondays. The problem I'm finding with these is they don't last, man. So as far as right now goes, I'm gonna recommend against them because like this one, I love the scent, but there's not. I guess it's not that big of a deal if you just reapply it, right? This is a little tiny bottle, right? You can carry this around in your bag or whatever. You can just toss. You can just put it on, you know, when, you know, refreshing yourself twice a day, but it's not going to last more than 2-3 hours. It seems like these are very subtle, and maybe that's why it's fuck Mondays, you know, and this is the only one that I know of right now. The other ones, and let me tell you guys what it smells like. So this one is a blue fragrance, super fresh, has some citrus notes in it. It's very similar to a Versace Pour Homme. It's very similar to Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense. It's kind of in those categories where it's just a super fresh, clean linen, fresh out of the shower type of scent. Something that smells kind of like a men's deodorant, right? This next one smells just like Versace Eros, which Versace Eros is a clubbing fragrance, and that's, let's be real, it's a minty, it's like a minty fresh, it almost has a little bit of a leather in it too, like a leathery, minty, fresh scent is basically what it is. Great fragrance, great scent. A lot of people love Versace Eros, so super popular fragrance, but it reminds me perfectly of that. It's like almost like 1-to-1. If you know what Versace Eros smells like, you can look up the notes if you want to. EROS. And then Bitch Please is a sweet, very sweet. Let me just pop it really quick. It's not super masculine. It's leaning towards the sweeter side, almost like a feminine sweet side, but not too feminine. And I did spray it earlier for a little bit, and it does get a little bit better, a little bit more masculine as it dries down. The only thing is these so far, these aren't lasting long. Yeah, it's a sweet, it has something in the background. I can't put my nose on it. I haven't looked up the notes on these, but we could. But it's like, it's almost like a sweet, nutty, woody scent or something. Then there's some sort of sweet note. It almost smells like candy. So like you know those necklaces, those ones you used to eat, you know, the candy necklaces. It has a little bit of a scent like that, with a little bit of like a woodsy leatheriness, and then yeah, that's basically what it smells like. It's not bad, it's good, but I don't know if it'll be good compared to other fragrances that last 10 times longer. I just got some Dylan Blue. Fuck yeah. How do you like it? How do you like it? You haven't gotten it yet, or have you got it? Did you receive it? Because I need to know how you like it. I just recommended that to somebody else. That's some good shit. The lady and gentleman makes me laugh every time. CBR. Best scent I've ever seen was Baccarat Rouge, $700 small. So Baccarat Rouge, $540. I think you can get it for about $400, $450. If you want to get it, right, there is a great clones, right? I got one that's literally like a 1-to-1 clone. However, if you really want a more masculine version of that, so it's Baccarat Rouge, $540, and Creed Aventus mixed into one, get Alexandria Game Time. That shit is beast mode. Not only is it affordable, the oils in it are just as good as Baccarat Rouge 540 and Creed Aventus. Absolutely. Like, it's surprising how good their oils are for. Here we go. Oh, they raised the price on us. Oh, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. I'm sorry. Hell yeah. So you can find this in my link down in the description. All you got to do is just go to the NeevesKnives store, not NeevekNiveCo, NeevesKnives store. And once you click on it, go to the top bar, because that's Amazon. And you can go and just type in Alexandria Game Time. Click over to the 30 mil for $43. Actually, this is, yeah, 55 mil. It says 30 mil. They must be wrong. Cool. 1.8 ounces. This is a decent sized bottle, and this shit is banging. So this is basically Baccarat Rouge 540 and Creed Aventus had a baby. Banging. Absolute banging. Hey, cutting board knife reviews, or cutting board reviews, I should say. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Go and check out his channel. He does have a YouTube channel where he does do some testing. Any knife stores I should visit? You know what I thought about? I was thinking about doing, because I have a place that's 10 minutes from me, 15 minutes from me, that's really big. Like, it's literally a perfect place to do this, but it's an antique store. But this is an antique store that allows people to come in and buy, like, you can rent out like areas. So people have the stuff that they leave there all year round. And it's massive, this place. It's fucking huge. It's like the size of like maybe not like a Walmart, but like a CVS, right? But it has different floors. Or does it have different floors? I think it has 2 different floors, but it has so many different little sections. It might even be bigger than like a CVS. It's massive, but it's just, there's so much there, like knives and straight razor stuff. Everything you can imagine antique is there, even down to swords and things like that. And I thought about going there and trying to buy a vintage EDC. So like trying to find the most items, the best EDC items that I could find for like $300 that are vintage. You expect them to be expensive, right? Obviously. So maybe it might go over $300, but the point is can I find a great vintage? Because I think that's dope. I think that's a great idea. A vintage EDC. Who wouldn't love that? Not a problem, Dan. Not a problem. Definitely check that stuff out. I'm pretty positive you're gonna love it. My number 1 recommendation is Versace Dylan Blue. Then it'd probably be the Alexandria Game Time. I don't think you can go wrong with either one of those. They're both very different fragrances. They're nothing alike, but they're really, really good. Neat. So I almost grabbed it. I almost grabbed that mini SOCOM. I didn't, but I almost did. I was too late on it, so maybe it was a sign. You made me buy fragrances recently. Nautica Voyage, and my favorite guess. Hell yeah. Nautica Voyage, man. That's a banging one too. That is a great melon scent. It's a super fresh melon scent that's very attractive to the ladies. The ladies love that one. Thoughts on Polo Green? Any recommendations? Ralph Lauren Safari. Wife said it's not her favorite, but something about it makes her want to jump my bones. Polos are usually pretty good. I got Polo Black right here. Well, it's a clone of Polo Black right here. Polo Green. I've tried the green and the red. Both of them were good. All the polos are pretty much good. So kind of like this, Polo goes more for the mass appeal. So Polo doesn't really do anything that's niche. They do things that are mass appealing, which females are almost always going to like mass appealing fragrances. If you want a really good one that I know she'll like, get the Versace Dylan Blue. I'm telling you, that is one fragrance that men and women both love. And if you look at any street interviews done with women with Versace Dylan Blue, 9.5 times out of 10, Dylan Blue's taking it, no matter what it's going against. And I've seen it go against some where I was like, ooh, I don't know who's going to win this. And then they fucking smokes it. Any updates on the TKELL? So I should have it any day. It's supposed to be in the mail today or tomorrow. He's overnighting it to me. So I'm just waiting. I seen the pictures. I'm just literally just waiting. So maybe a day or two. So if he didn't get them out today, maybe tomorrow or the next day, and then he's gonna overnight them. So I'm psyched, man. I'm waiting. I'm ready. I'm trying not to talk about it because I don't want to build a hype again without having them in hand. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm antsy, but I'm waiting. What do you guys think about Axe? I'd say stay away from Axe. The reason why I say stay away from Axe is, well, there's a couple reasons. One, it's 90% just like aerosol. So There is a scent in there, and they are good fragrances. So the fragrances aren't bad. It's just the quality. This is the thing. What you're paying for, you could get a fragrance that's more of an adult thing, you know, because Axe would be more for like teenagers and stuff, and then a fragrance would be more for an adult. Because and it's just because of what you're buying, right? Like because the oils are better quality, right? It's kind of like would you buy an M Tech or a CRKT, or would you rather buy a Spyderco, right? You're getting yeah, it's maybe a little bit more money, but the quality is much better. The same thing that's going to be in the Axes, like the oils that they use, are all synthetic, super synthetic, lots of aerosol. Fragrances have natural and synthetic scents in there, but they're just, it's just better. And they last so much longer. That's one thing Axe does not do. Axe only lasts 3 to 4 hours on average, right? Oh, you can get fragrances that last 24 hours. I would say on average, fragrances should last you 6 to 12 hours. So I know that's a big difference, but that's just, there's so many different fragrances. So I tend to like to look for ones that last 6 to 8 hours at least at the minimum, but I prefer 12 hours or more if I can. People sleep on Aventus cologne, different from regular Aventus. I've gotten tons of compliments from it. When I picked my girlfriend up one time, her mom and aunt texted her and told her I smelled. I like the Creed Aventus. The Creed Aventus is good. I have a sample of it, but I love Mancera Cedric Boise. That stuff is an exact clone of it. And in my opinion, it smells even better. Mancera Cedrat, Cedrat, Boise, Boise, is literally 1-to-1 with Creed Aventus, in my opinion, but like a quarter the price. And it is fire. The oils are really good. Everything Mancera does is good. They're a niche fragrance for a budget. So it's a budget niche fragrance. I'm confused. Someone help me. He thought he was at a knife channel, wound up at a fragrance channel. What's up, Brace? But if you ever have the urge to smell like a high school locker room, Axe is great. If you ever do. Yeah, they're money, right? It's a lot of money. That's why I'm saying if you get the other one, it's not as much. I'm confused why everyone hasn't hit the dango like button. Yes, please hit the like button. I do appreciate it if you guys do. There's 134 people in here. There should be 160 likes. Because some of you do have second devices right next to you. Yeah, I think our noses, well, one, it is a thing, our noses do change. So every 7 years your taste buds change, which a lot to taste is smell. So, I'm guessing that might evolve too. And there's a reason, like if you think about it, like why do old men have like the old men cologne fragrances? Why are they attracted to that, right? Why are the old ladies attracted to those fragrances? That's why they get their husbands or whatever, their booze, these certain types of fragrances. Why? Well, it's because their nose has evolved to that. It's more it's just a more mature scent. Just like there's going to be more playful scents, there's going to be more youthful scents. I like the balance. I want something a little bit more youthful, but not nothing too youthful. Neve math. That's Neve math, right? You got it. Is TKELL shipping your knives yet? Waiting for them, man. They're supposed to be shipped. I gotta, as soon as I get them, right after that they'll be shipping out. So I gotta get them first, and then right after that they'll be shipping. So soon, very soon. Like I said, he's supposed to overnight mine. I guess he said he was I think finishing the sheets, and he's gonna send me one of each version, and that should be today or tomorrow. I don't know if he mailed out today. If he didn't mail out today, it'll be tomorrow, possibly the next day, and he's overnighting it. So please stop talking about old men and fragrances. Sheesh. Listen, old man. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with being an old man in fragrances. I love original Old Spice imported from India. I don't know if I've ever tried. Is that where they're made? India? Old Spice? Migaron, Moyaro, Crossbar, Fire. Oh my God, is that Breeze Ratchford? Is that Breeze? What is better, Rex 45 or MagnaCut? I'm going to personally say at the moment, Rex. However, more people would debate me on that and they would win that MagnaCut's better. So MagnaCut's going to be better in other reasons. Rex 45 is going to be better in these reasons. One, it's edge holding ability. So Rex 45 is going to have longer lasting edge retention. Number two, it's edge taking ability as far as taking a super fine edge, low angle edges, and holding on to those really nasty sharp edges and then stropping back really well. Now, MagnaCut has the ability to do that, but from my experience, not quite as good as Rex 45, but it's still really good. So I will say that as long if they're both heat treated very well, which Rex 45, the only place you can really get it from, KIZER's got some now, but let's be real, Spyderco is the only one you can really get it from, because KIZER's are not going to be as good as their heat treatment. So as far as good heat treatments goes, it's Spyderco. But if you take really well done MagnaCut and really well done Rex 45, it's still going to be the same thing, right? Where MagnaCut's going to be great. The one thing it has on its side is the toughness and the corrosion resistance. So the corrosion resistance is through the roof. Rex 45s is through the floor. So I think Rex 45s is like a 2 out of 10 for corrosion resistance. MagnaCut's a 9.5 out of 10. So most people would say that MagnaCut's better. I'm going to say Rex 45 as far as my preferences in it having the things I want in a steel. MagnaCut has everything I want in a steel. That's why it's still on my list of favorite steels. But Kyle Coonley's been a member for 17 months. Books are open. Oh, just opened back up. Get in while you fit in. So if you guys need some sharpening done, there you go. Kyle just opened up his books. If you want to get some edges sharpened through the folded paper. What is that about? You talking about for edge angles? When a woman smells of gum, I fill with a desire kind of deal. How about women's smells? Let's talk about it. How about what? I fill with a desire kind of feel. You're saying when a woman smells like bubble gum? I could see that. I have a little thing like with like a great bubblicious smell. So I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. Kara's got some fragrances that are like that's what it reminds me of. It's like great bubblicious, and I like it. I just I'm into feminine scents on a woman. That's what I want to smell. I don't like anything gaudy. Gaudy, get the fuck away from me. I want it to be super feminine, super cute, super on the sweeter side, but on the girl sweeter side, not the men's sweeter side, obviously. Just fucking around. Someone complained about an off-center blade. That's where the paper went. Okay. So just so you guys know, there's also a way you can find an edge angle with a paper too. It's just where you fold it twice and you get 20, I think it's 22.5 degrees. James Dog Palmer, sorry, sharpening if I missed anyone. Yeah, that was me. My new Yo Jumbo was way off. I don't know the paper wedge trick. You just take the knife, whichever side it's on, take a piece of paper, fold it up. This isn't gonna work, but let's just pretend it's gonna work. So loosen it up, whatever side that it's closest to, that's where you want to wedge it, obviously, because you want to go the other way. So wedge it in there, then tighten it all the way down, take the paper out, and then just adjust it to where until it goes centered, until your action is free, because obviously when you tighten it all the way down, the action's going to be tight. So in order to bring back the action, you're going to want to just back it out a little bit. Loosen, wedge, tighten, adjust. There you go. Walking into grandma's house when she is making cookies. Now that's a good smell. Damn right that is. That's a real good smell. Who doesn't love that? Have you ever seen the Civivi Storm Ridge fixed blade? I don't think so. Huh. No, I don't think so. That is a great technique, Neeves. Teach daddy. You know, another one is whatever side it's on, you could just hold it and do the same thing, or open it and push it and do the same thing. You can do that too. Now, another thing is if you take the knife apart, you can put the scales down nice and flat and make sure you hold them down nice and flat. That also can help. Sometimes the problem is what people will do is they'll screw down this screw over tight, and before this one's screwed tight. So what'll happen is by the time, so they tighten this one, and then tighten this one, and they tighten them all the way down when they do them. So by the time they get to this one, the scale is not like this, it's like this. So what you want to do is just lightly put in the screws and then tighten a little bit more, tighten a little bit more, tighten a little bit more, then go back to this one, tighten a little bit more, tighten a little bit, like that, so that the thing goes kind of like you do a rim on a car. Same concept, right? There's a reason why when you're changing the wheels on a car, you don't just tighten down the first lug nut. I think this one's dropping soon. They sent it to me, so I just got it. I got a video coming tomorrow with it, but yeah, this one is coming right now. I think this one will be dropping very soon. And this is so much better than my original one. Like way, way better. This makes me like the knife. I like the other one. I love this one. It's just, the detent is so much better. My other one, man, it's just too strong, and I never really felt like adjusting it. But this one, man, look at that. So smooth. It's really good. Evenly tightened. Go back to lug nut school. Exactly. If you have a blowtorch, just heat the blade, hit it with the hammer a few times to bend it in the direction it needs to go. That's the way you fix it. That is hilarious. I have an addiction, and it's called sharp shit. There's a phone number. I can get you a phone number for that. That you absorb these things and you find that you found a solution, all from watching Smart. Notorious Hogue and Spyderco. What does that mean? Yeah, that Misto, man. This thing is dope. Now, as far as these scales go with the swirls, I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the swirls. I know some people love it. Some people, are on the fence. I don't mind it. I like it. They're titanium scales. They have a pattern. They're cool. But I could have done without the swirls. To be honest, I could have just done with regular flat scales or slightly contoured, because they're not contoured, excuse me, but they have like a high ridge line in the middle. You can see it right there. See that ridge line? So it has that high ridge line. But it is nice and ergonomic. It's a great knife. Very, very smooth. Mine came rock solid out of the box, so we'll see how long that lasts. Neve math doesn't move and supposed to get a hammer. If it doesn't move, just get the hammer. If you or your family member has gotten into knives, you may be entitled to compensation. Yes, the Civivi Dog was a great one. I've given that one away a lot. Recently, I gave one to my cousin, and he's been carrying the shit out of it. Beautiful knife, great action, great slicey blade, super deep hollow ground clip point blade. Yeah, that's a good one, man. That was one of the better budget knives when, it first came out. Is TKELL shipping your knives yet? I've answered this multiple times. TKELL is shipping my knives as soon as possible. They should be shipped out tomorrow or the next day. And you're supposed to overnight them. I'm just waiting for them. Knives, scents, cigars, coffee, barbecue. Hell yeah, every day. So I have an old Gerber bolt action exchange blade in pristine condition. Holy crap, those things see for so much money. So like you could say the same thing about some old Kershaws. Like there are certain like ones that are ultra rare and they go for a lot of money. CRKTs, old like there's just a ton of them because they've have some models that were briefly out or like they're ultra rare and some people collect them. So since they collect them, they they want every single one. Got any good stories? Yeah, we can do story time. I gotta think of one though, because I didn't have anything prepared today. Like I said, I've been doing so much testing. Like I keep saying, I'm probably gonna nail or cut this down to one live a week because since I'm doing all this testing stuff on the channel and you know, making the videos a little bit more high quality, they take a lot more effort and it's a little more difficult for me to plan lives. If I'm doing one a week, I have a better chance of planning material to talk about instead of just winging it like I am tonight. But thanks. I guess you're more frustrated than yeah, I am. I'm no, I'm not. So I don't want to be a dick. I'm only frustrated because you know of what happened before, right? Obviously, I'm frustrated at that. It's went on way longer than I thought, which and way longer. So yeah, I'm frustrated, but I'm also not. I'm not, you know, breathing down his neck. I'm not saying anything to him. I'm being super patient. You know, I know he's gonna have it done when it's done. I want it done to the. I don't want any corners cut, right? So I'm not gonna press him or anything. I'm just waiting for him to tell me when he's sending them. I messaged him yesterday. He said that he was going to overnight them in the next couple of days. He's just finishing something with the sheaths, I think. So, prostitution. Do I have any stories of prostitution? Kind of. I guess I can kind of tell this. Okay, so I'll tell a couple. So, one was so when I was on hiatuses, hitting licks. One lick was you know, there's this thing called Backpage where prostitutes get on and they post, you know, like $300 for an hour or you know whatever, and they'll have their pictures and stuff like that. Well, me and a buddy would we would grab the girl's pic or any girl's picture and put it up there and you know, wait for a hit. And when you'd wait for a hit, in some cases, like there's this happened multiple different times, so there's different scenarios. But what they would do is you tell the guy that tell the trick that a guy's gonna come down and get the money, and then you just come up to the room or whatever, right? Just so there's no money exchange between the people. And they usually believe that because, you know, if there's money exchange, then that's when you can get busted. So anyways, so we just walk up and take the money and dip. Fucker'd be screwed. And obviously there's no hooker sitting there in the room. Now, we've also had a couple times where we had hookers, you know, that would be in on it. I know it's some bullshit, you know. It makes you feel pretty dirty doing that to somebody. I don't want to fuck with nobody sitting there with a hard on waiting to fucking just lost his money. But I did have a somebody that I became friends with that was a prostitute, and she was trying to get me to kind of pimp her out, and I don't like that shit. I'll be honest, I'm like very against that shit. I've always, and I'm not saying I'm against men going and seeing prostitutes. I'm not against that. I'm against women being prostitutes. Like I fucking hate it. I got sisters, I got mother, you know, obviously we all have mothers, but you know, I have sisters and shit, you know, and I've always hated that thought. So it's always been disgusting to me. So when she wanted me to do this, I was like, no, fuck that. Like, I'm not fucking doing that shit. And you know, but when you're strung out on dope, you kind of start to think about it. Like, man, this bitch wants to do it. Like, you know, but I never got into it. Not at all, because like I said, I didn't like it. But she definitely tried to push me into doing it, you know, and trying to like be kind of, I don't want to say pimp, but you know, kind of the same thing, you know, because they, you know, they need protection and shit like that. But yeah, I just didn't like it, man. I didn't like it, and we were good friends, you know, for a while. Even lived together for a short time, and yeah, went through a lot of shit together, a lot of shit together. So we were, since we were close and we were together so much, you know, it left a lot of opportunities to have the conversations, and she knew deep down that like I was so disgusted with it, I didn't like it. So it never wound up happening. But if I would have wanted it to, or if I would have allowed it, it 100% would have taken off. And you know, it's kind of scary because it's like something that I'm disgusted with. I don't, you know, I'd hate to put her, because to me, it's like, even though she wants to do it, you know, it's like I fucking feel like I'm a part of, you know, a vulnerable situation and things like that. And, you know, man, I just don't like that shit. I don't even like the thought of it. Laugh my ass off. Back page. Me and my dipshit friends used to look at that site in high school and Redbook before that, and Craigslist's escort page before that in like the 6th grade. You know? Yep. I'm sure Backpage still exists. I don't know if it does or not. I haven't, you know, been on there in forever, but yeah, it was a way you could, you know, sell yourself. And yeah, I mean, I've been through like lots of little bullshit, like, because, you know, on the streets and shit, man, there's a lot of broken women that will sell their body really quick to get a come up. So, you know, you see a lot of that shit. Like I said, though, I've always been really disgusted with it. So it was never something I really liked. You try to run off on the hoe. You try to run off on no, I wouldn't have done that because she was my friend, and you know, and I did feel responsibility. Like I said, we stayed together for a little while and things like that. And she was a sweetheart. You know, sort of. She was also crazy as fuck. So, you know, obviously, obviously, right? If you're gonna do that shit, you're gonna have some issues, which is fine, whatever. We all got issues, but like I said, I'm not down for that shit. I was drunk and he sent his girl to rob me. I've seen that many times, many times. It's kind of like if you have a girl, like you could easily get a girl, like, because like, say if like the guy, the mark, the trick would want to like get on a call, like to trick, you know, to get him to come and spend the money. You just get a girl on the phone. Get a girl on the phone. She talks to him for 2 minutes, you know, and tells him the deal. Hey, my brother or my partner is gonna walk up to the car. He's gonna get the money. He's gonna walk one way. You come up to the room, right? You know, things like that. Or, you know, there's many other ways. Sometimes I remember one time we didn't make him think that he knew at the end he got fucked over. But he the guy said, the guy tried to go up to the room and nobody answered. And he called and we are like, hey, yeah, don't, we're not going to answer the door because a car, because this just so happened to be a hotel that cops were always at. So you had a really good chance that an officer was going to pull in and park or turn around. It's just, you know, it's a bad place. Sure as shit, one pulls in. So we told him that there's an undercover down there. There's a cop down there. He's sitting there. So we're not going to open up the door until he's gone or some shit. And or make it seem like he's the cops, you know, that's always a good one. But yeah, it's not good, man. It sucks, man, because, you know, getting somebody, you know, because it's kind of like the man's kind of vulnerable in that situation because he's just trying to get some loving. He's just looking for some loving. And you know, to go from, because you can imagine, and he's ready. He's ready. I've already paid my dues. I'm ready to go. Not today. Most promising upcoming knife releases for 2024. My own knife designs. How about my own knife designs? How about that? I'm hoping one is towards the middle of 2024. The one I'm really excited about. Then there's another one I'm really excited about, but that's a very limited one. It's only going to be a few pieces. That shouldn't be too long. And then the TKELL one's coming right around the corner, and then I have a couple other ones. So we'll see how everything goes. Dude just wants his edge sharpened. So if I titanium, what an awesome little knife. I've got 3 sisters, and if any piece of shit tried that with my sisters, I'd find a new use for my SC5. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. And that's why I'm, because that's the way I think too. I'm very fucking protective over my sisters, and I've shown it many times. I've heard a lot. I've heard a bunch of people over my sisters. I've definitely gotten into a lot of fights over my sisters. And to me, like, there's just certain things like that because growing up, and my mom, like I grew up, I had an abusive stepfather and shit. So like I went through so much shit with that. Fucking, I even smashed a 2x4 across my stepfather's face when he was all fucked up one night. Anyways, doesn't matter. The point is though, is that because of all kinds of bullshit, like I got super protective over my sisters, and I've always hated the thought of things like that. So I've always did my best to try to protect them from things like that. I got in a fight with a pimp. You were the trick. Papa Peter was the trick that night. It's all right. It's all right. I'm sure a lot of men in here have been the trick. Why is this channel not a 300K? I don't know, man. I'm guessing after I continue to start this these new videos, it's going to hit 300 pretty quickly, because we got a lot of badass videos coming around the corner. Walking tall. Oil the new Spydercos, all the new Spydercos that are coming. Yeah, those are really cool. Yeah, you're right about that. That's definitely really cool. There's one in particular that I'm really excited about that I can't really tell you guys about, but it's my own design. I've spoke about it a little bit in little pieces, but I'm really excited about that one. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. We hit the time. I do appreciate all the donations tonight. Everybody that had giveaways coming, the shit is mailed, it's shipped out, so should be to you anytime. We get another pandemic and these will go to 700K. That's the plan. That's how we're gonna get there. We're just gonna make pandemics one after another. What do your followers need to help you get there? They just need to fucking hit that dango like button and leave me some damn comments. That's all they got to do. If they could do that, they'll help me get there real quick. If every single one of the viewers hit the like button when they viewed the videos, that'd send me to the top. But is your new design a folder? I have a couple fixed blades and folders coming. Yes, the one I'm talking about specifically, yes, is a folder. But I do have fixed blades coming too. Have a great rest of the week, Jared. Thank you, Henry. And thank you guys. Yeah, what I'm working on, instead of getting more subs, I'm looking at getting more views per video. That's what I'm fighting for this year. This year, I don't give a fuck about more subs right now. I give a fuck about getting more views per video. So that's my goal, and I'm sticking to it, and we're going to get there. It's going to be a badass year. I'm very psyched about the Bodacious. I hope I have one coming. I don't fucking even know at this point. But K390. I love you guys. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.